Diary, hello. It's less than 24 hours from the start of the 2025 London Marathon, and it is in fact Saturday, the 26th of April. Now, for those of you who don't know, entering the London Marathon, as is common with most large marathons now, is quite difficult. You don't just have to be a runner, but you normally have to be quite good at raising quite large amounts for charity, and the London Marathon is one of those marathons which exemplifies this trend. Therefore, we don't have a place for the London Marathon this year. I think technically we could have tried to get a good for age place, but I moved up trying to apply for one. So the net result is we are going to, for not just the first year, attempt the reverse London Marathon. So what is the reverse London Marathon? The reverse London Marathon is a marathon distance event that starts at the end of the London Marathon. So that's sort of in the Westminster area, and runs to the beginning of the London Marathon. Now, that normally happens at something like, well, it used to happen at something like 3 a.m. I think there used to be 2 different starts. It's an unofficial marathon. It doesn't cost anything to enter. You're running on the roads or on the pavements, and you are in congestion with other cars who might want to use those roads. But given that it's like midnight or past midnight, probably there's not much going on. So that's the overall plan. That the reverse London Marathon's been going for a while, and we've run it a few times. And then I think last year we did it on Brompton bicycles because my running legs were not very good. And this year we hadn't quite decided what we were going to do. So we're home in London, and what happened yesterday was that in a feat of kind of stupidity, I decided I'd put my old race shoes on. I just got some props here. These are the old race Salomon shoes, and we thought we'd just go for a little run in our nearby park, in Diners Park, Kensington Palace Gardens Park. And at the end of about 12 kilometres, I had a decent blister on my foot, which was extremely annoying. So we went for a run today, even shorter run, and within a few kilometres, the blistering was getting worse. We haven't got any plasters here, the sort of fancy Compeed or other plasters, so that might have helped the situation had I applied one. Anyway, we've made the executive decision to, as per last year, do it on bikes. Now, to make things a bit more tricky, we're going to think of doing it on what I still call the Borris bikes, i.e. the scheme that Boris Johnson introduced in London, with the bikes that are scattered across the whole of central London, but not, as I'm about to discuss, on the south of the river in many places. So the plan is to do the course on Borris bikes. Now, an added input might be, not complication exactly, but an added ease of use might be to do it on electric Borris bikes. But electric Borris bikes are few and far between. And after a lot of Googling last night, I found out that Borris bikes, the electric variety, don't get charged in situ. So did you know that there's a plan to upgrade all of the electric bikes in this scheme, in the Santander scheme, but it's not been implemented yet, and there's some paperwork to say that it might start in 2026, but they haven't even got any vendors specified who could do this. But the current electric bikes, when they're out of energy, whenever you dock them back, they dock into a powered dock. But that, believe it or not, that power dock does not charge the bicycles. What must have to happen is somebody picks up the bicycles, charges them and brings them back, or something like that. They either bring us something to charge the bicycles with. But the basic point is that electric bicycles, I thought that once you'd returned an electric bike from the Santander scheme, it would be docked into the docking station, and the docking station, which clearly has power, would start to charge up the bicycle. That does not happen. Anyway, this perhaps explains why electric bicycles are in pretty poor states of charge. We've been checking them this weekend in loads of different places, and most of them are, let's say, 50% or 30%. And such a bike is not going to be very useful. And there's another clever parameter, which is that whenever you hire an electric bike on the scheme, even if you've got a day pass, I think you pay like £1.50 for the first 30 minutes. And I think you then pay £3 for each subsequent 30 minutes or 1 hour. So the cost could start to stack up. So the most economical thing we've decided, this is where things get a bit tricky, is if you could hire an electric bike and cycle it for 50 minutes and then dock it and get another one. But we've been looking at the free electric bikes. You can see online on Santander website and on the smartphone app how many bikes are at each station and what their percentage charges are. And often there's only one bike. So it starts to get very complicated. The manual bikes are very lowly geared, and really you're limited. The speed you can push those Santander bikes, those very heavy manual Santander bikes, is limited basically by your not your pedaling power, but your cadence. In other words, the faster you can spin your legs, the faster you're going to go. Even in the third gear, which is the most difficult to push gear, your legs are spinning at they're so lowly geared that as a cyclist, I can get on the bike in third gear. I never have to get out of third gear. First and second gear, I mean, it's just a joke. The electric bikes are better. I think the gearing is different, completely different. So the time that we'd be able to do the course in, and don't forget, we're going to get all the way to this from the end to the. First of all, we're going to get to the end of the London Marathon in Westminster, which is not too far. Then we're going to cycle the 42 point something kilometres to the beginning of the London Marathon, and then we're going to cycle all the way home, the shortest path, which is, like I said, let's say another 30 kilometres. So it's possibly something like 70 or 80 or 90 kilometre round trip. We've done more planning as to the fact that electric bicycles are not really available past Tower Bridge. So the London Marathon course from finish to starts in Westminster and goes down the embankment. You get to Tower Bridge. You then keep going on the highway where I used to live, down near that area, and then down the Isle of Dogs, round the Isle of Dogs, through Canary Wharf, round the Isle of Dogs, come back to Tower Bridge, and then you cross Tower Bridge. Now, at the Tower Bridge crossing point, you will find, after you've crossed to the south side of the river, there are very, very few electric there are very few Santander bicycle points, hardly any. In fact, there's one at the Rotherhithe Tunnel, and then it's a complete desert. There's nothing. And there's no guarantee that when you get to the Rotherhithe cycle place, there's going to be any electric bikes. So Meath thinks that the strategy should be to get an electric bike as close to Tower Bridge as possible. But, it's a lottery as to whether there's going to be any electric bikes. So where are we? Summary is, we're here in London. We're going to do the reverse London Marathon. The official reverse London Marathon on legs starts at midnight. We might start a little bit before then. Or we could start at 1 minute past midnight, which is when the official start is. We've got to go all the way from the end to the start. We're going to do it on the Borris bikes. It'll probably be some combination of the mechanical and electrical bikes. And then we've got to get from the beginning of the marathon all the way back home here into Westminster. That's the story so far. I'm in bed. I'm about to try and I'm going to go to the gym first. I'm then going to have a nap, and then we're going to start. We are just about to start the reverse London Marathon. As previously noted, we will be on bicycles. This is my partner position. She doesn't want to be on camera, so she has just got a hat to show for herself. And what is in the emergency rucksack? It's the trail rucksack that you could do an ultra in. But in this case, we have sandwiches. We have Red Bull diet. And I've got some emergency things like toilet paper, a phone charger, glasses, and in the sides and top pockets of this are 2 energy bars. I think that should be enough. We have got cycle helmets and proper cycle gloves and a pouch for the phone. That's what we're taking. My partner's got her rucksack, and it's got water in it and sandwiches. We're showing the juice here. And we're going to get started. Okay, Darby, so we're at the Santander bicycle hire station, our local station in Notting Hill. We have looked on the map, for the best 2 bicycles. There's actually about 4 or 5 e-bikes here, but it appears that only 3 of them are on the map, and one's not got much charge. So the plan is to take this one, which has got a 40k range, and this one, which has got 47k, we think. Right, we're doing all the videoing first because, of course, every second counts when it comes to this bike hire. Hi Diary, we've done apparently 11 kilometres in 47 minutes. Not bad, eh? That'll be the power of not running. Anyway, we've managed to get to Tower Hill, and we're now trying to get a bicycle recharged, because after 1 hour you pay more money. So we thought we'd dock in and dock out again, hopefully with some more juice. It's going very well so far. It's dry, it's actually quite warm. The reverse London runners are way behind us because they don't start till 1 minute past midnight. All is well, all is well. What could possibly go wrong? Good, Daria, we're heading towards Canary Wharf, but we've had a bicycle malfunction. We're in the East End, as we say. We're looking for a new bicycle. I'm okay, but the other bike's got a chain skip. So we found another bike, but you can't hire the second bike until you put the first bike back and it's been acknowledged. That takes a little minute or two. Yeah, it's all happening. We haven't quite got to the Canary Wharf bit yet. As you can see, there's the HSBC building in the distance. We're going to go around this way, then round to the right, and then we're going to go up the roundabout into the Canary Wharf area, I think. Methinks. I believe the marathon course is slightly different this year. We will find out soon. Okay, I think, Darryl, we're in the marathon maze we call Canary Wharf. We've been trying to follow barriers, because barriers might indicate that we're kind of going around the right way. There's some barriers down there, as you can see. Oh, I missed the big fish at the bottom, which is quite spectacular. Big fish sculpture, that is. Yeah, so I think we're going to keep going that way. You all know what this means. It's just somewhere that I used to know. Hi Darry, we're at Canada Water. We're off course. We're trying to dock a bike and then undock a bike. We've got here and all the bays are full. Now with an electric bike, you can't hire more than one bike, and so if I could hire one bike, I could take a bike out and put this bike back. But I can't do that because it doesn't allow me. So ironically, there are bikes there that I would like to use, at least one bike. Better charge than this bike. I can't dock the bike back, therefore we'll both have to just suffer the extra charges for the bike hire. Anyway, a bit annoying because now this is the last point before going all the way to Greenwich and back. So we might even run out of batteries, which would be an even worse situation. Anyway, that's how the cookie crumbles. Dory, we're at Greenwich. The worst has happened. What's happened? Here's the bicycle. What's happened? It's got no batteries left. About a kilometre ago, it just started to get very heavy. I mean, very heavy. So these are electric bicycles. They're even heavier than the regular bicycles. When the batteries dies, well, it turns into like a lump of iron. Oh dear me. Now I had thought it might make it to the top where the marathon starts, because there's quite a steep set of hills. Well, not hills, but there's gradients up, and it's not made it. So I'm gonna have to lift this lump of lead up to the start of the marathon, and that's gonna be well, Tricky. My partner over there, she's still going strong. She's on one blob, as I was on one blob, and then it went to 0 blobs. So anyway, we've done over 35k now. I think we've got at least sort of 7 or 8k to go. Okay, let's keep going, but it's going to be tough. So it's 52 kilometers. I'm calling it a marathon. We're in the accessibility tent. There's a church over there. It's actually pitch black, but obviously the Apple camera is telling me that it's like broad daylight. It's all over. We wanted to find the same place we've got to in the past years, but we can't find it. So I think I'm calling it quits. We've finished. We're on both bicycles and now completely out of juice. So we had to climb the hill. It was quite invigorating, shall we say that? Heavy bicycles, our legs, and it would have been easier to run up the hill, I think. Anyway, it's all over now. We have to try and get back. Now, unfortunately, we've checked, and Rotherhide is still the closest bicycle drop-off, and it still hasn't got any spots free, so we can't hire any bicycles. Oh! Anyway, so we're going to try and go towards Rotherhide, and by the time we get there, maybe someone in the middle of the night has hired a bicycle, and that would allow us to dock these bicycles and just get some mechanical ones. Right, that's it, Dari. Next stop, Rotherhide. Back home. Hi, Dari. So we've just had a very unpleasant navigation via the Millwall Football Club, which was the wrong direction by Apple Maps. It smelt of something horribly human. And I didn't tell my lovely partner that Millwall Football Club is famous for violence. We just got lost. We went through a tunnel past Millwall FC. Anyway, we managed to get to Bermondsey bike drop, and we've put our bikes back. And every bicycle is covered with some sort of horrible liquid. I don't want to think what it is. We managed to clean off. It doesn't smell, so it could be like everyone's peed on the seats, but it's no smell, so we think it might be. We're hoping it's disinfectant. It doesn't seem to smell of anything. So anyway, we're gonna get the bicycles and we're gonna go home. Let's get out of here. So Daria, back home. Hang on, what does the Mr. Watch say? 74.8 kilometers. I'm going to stop that watch. Oh, 5:59, 6 hours. So hang on, let me just do a save. I wonder if it's going to say productive. So yeah, how was it for me? It was pretty good. It hasn't rained. It's been actually quite chilly, and we've just come back through past Buckingham Palace, and we've seen quite a few runners just starting off. So they're starting off at about 3 a.m. and I guess you're the fast runners, because I think the official reverse London starts at 1 minute past midnight this year. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't as cold as I imagined it might be. I wish I'd brought my thicker jacket now, because I put this thin jacket on, thinking that the thick jacket would be too cumbersome. And whilst it would have been more cumbersome, it would have been actually warmer, and I wouldn't have frozen my bits and bobs off. So yes, we're back. We just docked the bicycles. I think the low point was as we approached, when I got to Cutty Sark, my battery died. And then we had a cunning plan, because on the other side of the foot tunnel, at the bottom of the West Ferry Road, where I used to live, just past there's a station. There's a bicycle station. So we got to the lifts, and the lifts on the south side, i.e. on the Greenwich side, said operational. And there's a sign saying north side lift not working, and that would have meant we would have had to carry the dead bicycles, up the very, very steep stairs to dock them to get the new bicycles out, and then obviously put those bicycles down the stairs, which would just been completely impractical because they're so heavy. So that was the plan, to get new bicycles at the Cutty Sark, but instead of that, we just used the dead bicycles to get to the start line. So that was tough. Going back, I think the low point was getting stuck around Millwall Football Club, where it didn't smell good, and we got sort of stuck in a kind of. My Apple Watch was trying to navigate me out. First of all, it took me into the Millwall Football Club area, which you shouldn't have done in the first place. And it reminds me when we got stuck in Naples. When we got stuck in Naples, I remember that we were being chased by kids on scooters, and it had a sort of ring of fear that was equivalent to that. Anyway, we got out of that, got to Bermondsey, changed onto these super fast electric bikes, and then we've whisked our way home. So all is well, and I think that's been a good end of the evening. And now we're free to support the London Marathon in the morning in just about 3 or 4 hours' time. Excellent stuff.